How about y'all come on in and let's have us another visit here on the Humble Show. I am Grant Fletcher, and I'm being joined by my co-host, Brandon Cox. Moonbeam Hallows is out this week, but we're here, and we're going to have a good time. Brandon, how are you?
You know what? Doing cool as always. Just having a good time.
Yeah, I am still recovering.
I was just about
the
to
weekend.
say, I'm having a good time, but I still feel like I need a day where I sleep all throughout it.
Yeah, it was weird because we took a week off. We normally record from the show, but that because of things that were going on, it just didn't work out. I had to meet with some folks at the hotel, at the hotel restaurant there in Birmingham, across the street from the convention center, whenever we normally would have been recording, and so it just didn't work out.
We had a whole lot going on.
Yeah, but that's fine because it was such a crazy weekend. I mean, I probably got like 8 hours of sleep total the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Part of it I did to myself, but and then I slid in on Sunday night, and I got into bed about 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and then woke up to take my daughter to school, and then. Went home and got in a workout and met a buddy for lunch, and ended up going to Spirit Halloween. So it was a good day. I was exhausted, but it was fine for me.
Far more of a productive day than me. I just kind of spent the day lounging around.
You want to know something really funny?
I do.
When I was at Spirit Halloween, I ran into Scott Innes.
No kidding.
So I saw him on Sunday. Yeah, at the show all weekend, and then I saw him again on Monday because I don't know if we ever talked about this, but we live in the same town.
Yeah. He and I talked for a few this weekend, and he was very complimentary towards me. He said that he really liked my voice, and I think coming from the voice of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, that is really something. Anytime that someone is just like, hey, I could stand your voice, I'm like, hey, I'm glad.
That's good. Want to know something funny?
Yeah.
Pam Grier told me, or asked me, she was like, oh yeah, and you're the one doing the announcements, right? It happened again, and this time it came from Pam Grier.
Oh, see, here's the thing. If it's anybody else, be like, yeah, I've been the one who's been flubbing on the mic. But if it's Pam Grier, if it's the eternally gorgeous Pam Grier, please tell her that it's me and give her my number.
Yeah, of course.
I usually don't have too many interactions with our wonderful talent that we have on our shows because I'm just kind of at merch most of the time. But the eternally gorgeous Pam Greer's stopped by the table and bought just a slew of shirts. Just I know I'm harping on this a lot, but my God, is that a gorgeous woman?
I mean, really is. I mean, for I think 75. I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
and she told us about some projects she's working on too that I don't know how much we'd be at liberty to say or whatever, but I'm excited about it. But there's a lot more we could say about the guests. But before we get into that, Brandon, you do need to offer up a song request. Otherwise, why are we here?
Yeah. So you already kind of got the sneak preview of this, but I got a cool little album that came in while I was gone in Birmingham. A little band by the name of Onionville, and the album is called Rotten Onions.
Yeah, so you put that in your Instagram story.
Yeah. So this album does indeed
Can you show that
sound
again?
like Rotten Onions.
Yeah.
And it's I feel good about recommending an entire album because it is the length of an EP. It's like 14 minutes long, but much like so many amazing independent labels these days, which I really should have gotten the name of the label prior to this, but oh well. They sent so many like extra goodies. Like they sent an onion pen that you can affix to your clothing or your backpack. They sent freeze dried onions in a little pack. Let's see what else they sent. They sent inside the CD case. Whoa. inside the CD case, not only do you get onion seeds, but
Whoa.
in addition, you get a recipe for pickled onions, which I make pickled onions pretty often because they're not only a very easy, delicious condiment, but they make anything that you put them on just really pop visually.
Well, yeah.
But this recipe here, oh, and it also came with a sticker and liner notes. But this this recipe right here has honey in it, and I usually just use white vinegar, but this has white vinegar and apple cider vinegar. And
Both
I'm
kinds.
gonna try this pickled onion recipe at some point, and I might plant these seeds at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You, put them next to the the what is it, the cactus outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Confuse the Mormons way more whenever they show up.
Oh, dude, Mormons ain't never seen onions like these. Oh, and the variety is Walla Walla Sweet.
Okay. Sweet onions. I'm down with it.
Yeah, I'm down with sweet onions and rotten onions. I'm down with all of it.
So I like that. Show me the. Can you show me the artwork again? I didn't have you like on full screen whenever you pulled it up there. The
Absolutely.
album
Let's
art.
take a look at this artwork right here. Let me try
So
to
it is
avoid
like
the
a
glare.
farm, Onionville, rotten onions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it looks
Onionville,
good.
baby.
I'm gonna have to check
Bru-
that out and see if I can stream it somewhere, or something like that. You know, I don't have
Got
a lot of physical media in my house anymore, but
You have classic
um,
hits like Flood of 1931 and A Rotten Onion and Welcome to Onion Dome.
we're doing the CD commercial right now.
Oh, and don't forget about that number one hit, An Onion as Big as Your Head.
There we go.
Classics, the lot of them.
Classics, man. The last time we sat down and talked, we mentioned Rainbow a little bit, the band Rainbow.
Yeah, with Dio, yeah.
Because we were talking about Dio, because Dio was, before he was in Black Sabbath, he was in Rainbow. And Rainbow is a band, I think they're still around. They've had several different lead singers, and they've been around in some capacity. I don't even know if there's any original members left, but
Yeah.
they do have good songs from in and out of Dio's tenure. But the song I am going to recommend today is called "Temple of the King," and Dio's singing. It's an acoustic jam. It's a slower song. Of course, like it's Dio, so it's got kind of like a folklore-y type of flair to it.
Yeah.
But it's just a good tune, man. The guitar's good. It's got a cool little story that you can kind of tell what's going on. Again, that's sort of a Dio thing where you don't really know what he's talking about ever.
Yeah.
But you can kind of tell there's a story there, and it's good. Temple of the King by Rainbow.
I like that sort of like I don't like when lyrics are too literal. I feel like lyrics should always have somewhat of a poetic nature to them for the sake of interpretation. I don't like, do you know who Thomas Kincaid is?
Oh, I know that name. Where do I know that name from?
He was a painter.
Okay. Yeah.
He was a very kitschy painter that a lot of like, uppity artistic
Yes.
types hate. And he was a bad person. But like I feel like overly verbose music is much like a Thomas Kincaid painting, in that in the case of the song, you hear it and you can't really interpret anything. It's on paper, it's black and white. There's nothing to interpret. There's no feeling to get out of it. But whenever you have a loose narrative, a loose story that you can either choose to follow or you can choose to, focus on other aspects of the music. That's what I like.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's it. I think I saw something recently. They were talking about Holy Diver, and there's a part in the song where it says, "Oh, don't you see what I mean?" And they're like, "No, we
No.
don't see what you mean. We have no one knows what you're talking about in this song."
No,
But
and
but you can tell he's talking about something. He's got something on his mind.
that line is so dangerously close to like the number one offense of rock music lines, and that is, "Do you know what I mean?"
Yeah,
Or like it's just so close, but it's Ronnie James Dio. He can. It's fine.
it's true.
If you're in Sabbath you can get away with a lot of lyrical atrocities like rhyming. What is it? Masses with masses.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
You can do that if you're in Sabbath. You can do whatever you want.
There's a lot you can get away with. Yeah, there was a precedent set there in the very beginning. Like, we're going to be goofy and fantastical, and you're going to love it. That's what that's what we decided was going to happen, and they did just that. Hats off to them, really. I'm glad.
Yeah.
No, I do want to talk about the show though. Are just mostly the guests we had, man, because they're all great. They're all rad. They're all fantastic, and yeah, I didn't get to work with Shannon Sossaman.
Yeah.
She didn't have a panel, but I did have a chance to go talk to her. Very sweet lady, very kind.
Wonderful.
She was great, fantastic. Paulo Costanza, it was good seeing him again, getting to talk with him again a little bit too. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do that again. That would be really, really cool. Who else was on that side there? Man, we had Krista McGuire, Clifford Chapin. They started off the weekend for us. They had a great panel. Always like anime panels are just fun.
Yeah.
Because everybody who shows up, it tends to be a younger crowd, but not always. But they're so enthusiastic about all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just dope. It was a dope time having the two of them up there and talking with them.
That's a wonderful thing.
Now, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid panel, we've done this one twice before.
Yeah.
Robert Capron and Zach Gordon. And they're both awesome, and I love working with both those guys. They're fantastic. They're great guests. Everybody has a really good time whenever they come out there. They really love it. But then we added Grayson Russell to the mix as well, who was Fregley in that series.
Is he the Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was from Alabama.
Alabama boy.
And yeah, so that was fun. When I introduced him, I was like, "Hey, thanks for coming out." And also, everybody, like, Grayson is an Alabamian. He's like from the area.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I grew up like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away from here, in a place called Clanton." And people were like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" And what's funny, whenever he walked out on stage, so because he was Ricky Bobby's son, all jacked up on Mountain Dew, he was drinking a Mountain Dew when he came out.
Oh,
but
hell yeah.
It wasn't intentional. He just had grabbed it from the green room, and then he got out there and he was like, "Oh, I guess I am drinking a Mountain Dew right now." I guess I did walk into that one.
Do you think like early to mid 2000s rappers do that with Cavassier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't mean to grab Cavassier.
I didn't.
This interview.
This place still has Cavassier.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody still actually. I'm sure they do. I'm still sure there's plenty of bars that carry it, but I don't know, man. But it was a good panel. They really showed up for that one. It was a lot of fun. Grayson was cool. It was cool working with him for the first time ever. That was his first convention ever too, so it was really dope.
Yeah.
And
there are
what's that?
There are a great number of like internet buzzwords and buzz phrases that like the moment that I hear, I just kind of like tune out of a conversation. Or if I'm on the internet, if I'm on the World Wide Web, I just stop reading. One of those is intrusive thoughts. I just, it's so overdone, and I'm so tired of saying things like talking about that. But like, here's the thing: if I was hosting a panel like that, I would have to the entire time. Like, it wouldn't even be anything that I would do on purpose. It would be a complete accident. But I would absolutely say diarrhea of a wimpy kid.
Yeah.
And like, it would just like the audience wouldn't be able to let that go. It's like, hey, yeah, I got a question, but first, can we talk about the whole diarrhea thing?
Yeah, there's something. What's funny about that is someone asked. Yeah, okay.
What?
Someone asked Robert Capron during the panel about this episode of a show he was on called R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour.
Yeah.
And it was a show that ran for a few seasons. It started around 2010. I think. Oh yeah, it's on Tubi. You can watch it right now. But it was like an anthology series, not unlike the Goosebumps series. Where each episode was a contained story. So he was in an episode and he told us about it. But then it was funny because the other two, Grayson and Zach, I think Grayson said so as well, realized that they were also on episodes of The Haunting Hour.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Zach told us about his. And I don't remember if Grayson said he was in it or not. I have the video. I need to go back and watch it. I have all my. I got a lot of video this weekend, so y'all be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna have some clips up on my TikTok my Instagram, and probably my other channel too, Grant Fletcher on the mic on YouTube as well. So y'all be on the lookout for that.
Subscribe.
But we got a few things coming out for that one there. So that was really funny. Who else was there? Man, Booker T, of course.
See, I was
always
about
a pleasure, always a legend. What's that?
I was about to bring up Booker T. I didn't get to meet him, but as a dear friend of the show, Avery, was about to go fetch him for his panel, I said, "Hey, Avery, come here, man. Hey, do you know what the T in Booker T stands for?" He's like, I think it's, he kind of named himself after Booker T. Washington. I'm like, no, man. It's Booker Tremendous.
Tremendous, yeah.
Booker Tremendous.
Of course it is. Dude.
I hope that he mentioned, I hope that he's like, hey, did you know that this is what your name is?
Hey, sir, do you know what your name is? It's this. Booker Tremendous. So I picked up Booker T from the airport. Booker and Robert together. It was good. It was fine. We just went to the airport. But then we went back to the hotel, and he checked in. He was like, it was kind of late. He was like, man, I'm trying to get something to eat. Let me see. And the guy at the front desk was like, yeah, they're serving food for like 10 more minutes. He's like, I got to go. So he ran into the restaurant, and I was like, well, let me hang with you. I'll walk in, make sure you get taken care of, and if not, I'll just drive you somewhere. We'll find you something,
Yeah.
And so I went in there, and like, they're pretty much shutting down, so there's no one at like the host station. And so there's a waiter there, and he's like, oh, hey, they're still serving food. He's like, you got to ask the kitchen, because there's like a kitchen counter in that restaurant. You know what I'm talking about. It's like,
the customer, have to go ask the kitchen.
I know, it was weird. Don't get me started,
that's part of the course.
Yeah. But there's like a kitchen counter, where like when they make the food, they put it up on that counter and the servers go grab it and they bring it out. So there's 3 guys behind the counter. So Booker T, like, he's big. He just takes like 2 or 3 big strides and he's at the counter. And he's got that, gravelly voice, and he's like, hey, is it too late for me to get something to eat? And the 3 guys behind the counter lose their minds. And like the smallest guy out of all of them was like, oh, I know who you are. He's like, they're all like slapping hands with him and whatever else. And they're all like, they're in like fight or flight mode all at the same time. Like fight and flight's happening. They're both like, they're all like running around and like bumping into each other and trying to talk to him. And like, they're like, I think we have a lot of things because it's late, and maybe we can. He's like, I don't know, man. Does it get like a sandwich? He's like, we can get you a burger. And he's like, oh yeah, man, cheeseburger's good or whatever. And the guy like turns and yells in the kitchen like, hey, can we get Booker T a cheeseburger? And so it was just like, it was one of those moments that's like, oh yeah, that's why we do this. Like people lose their minds. Like you're just at work and all of a sudden the guy that you used to watch on TV as a kid and into your adulthood just appears in front of you. It's a jarring thing, isn't it?
Man, I would have to like, I mean, because I've worked in the restaurant industry before. I've worked back at the house, and let me tell you, 10 minutes prior to closing, half my shit's already
right,
shut down and cleaned. Booker T and like very few other people would I enthusiastically do that for. Like if Pat Sajak was at that window,
sure,
like, man, you need to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Didn't watch a lot of Wheel as a kid, huh?
Didn't watch the Wheel.
Didn't watch the Wheel. Dude, hey man, a lot of people are really good at the Wheel. Okay, I cannot hate. I didn't watch a ton of it, but I can't hate on it either, man. No, who else we had? Oh, so we had we had the Nation there.
Yeah, we had the whole Nation.
The Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
We had Mark Henry. We had the Godfather, Charles Wright. We had D'Lo Brown. We had Ron Simmons. There were other members, but yeah, they were like the core group. And having them there really completed that.
Who else do you want to see? Honestly?
Yeah, really. I mean, The Rock, maybe, I guess, but who's counting The Rock, right? So, yeah, we did their panel. That was a lot of fun too. I got some video of that one, but not all of it. But yeah, it was a dope time. Just having those guys up there, all 4 of those guys, they love to talk. They're funny. They're just a good time, and they were having a good time up there too. And so I really, can't wait to show people the little bit of stuff I have from that one as well.
I just thought of something.
What's up?
And it's probably been done to death, but has anybody ever said the name Drain My Rocks Johnson?
No, I don't think I've ever heard that before. Oh man, if you would have brought that up over the weekend, they would have thought that was so funny too. I'm sure of it.
Oh, I should have said that there. I mean, I just thought of it, but
jeez. Oh goodness, man, that's a good one. I'm glad. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you said that because that made my
very
whole night right
topical.
now. Just now, that did. It really did. Drain my rocks, John. Okay. Anyway, well, kids, ask your parents what that means, and we're
Yeah,
going to move
yeah.
on. I like
Ask
that
your
panel
parents'
though.
permission before
Oh,
going
and
online.
and we had a panel with Pam Grier
Oh,
and Fred the
wonder how.
Hammer
Oh, yeah.
Williamson.
Pam Grier and Fred Williams, right?
Fred the Hammer Williamson. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. How'd that go?
Great. They just bickered the entire time. It was hilarious. Well,
Good.
they've known each other for forever.
Yeah, yeah. And they were. I wanted to watch a movie that they were both in the late '90s called Original Gangsta.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and it's probably for the best because I would have like just would have razzed him a good bit because I saw clips of it and it's literally just uh God, it's basically like old timers, or not just not the oldest of timers, but older folks taking Gary, Indiana back, like it wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't already a lost cause in the late '90s.
Yeah, dude. Gary, Indiana is a place that every time I hear anybody say anything about it, it's well, it was no coffee. Let's just say that,
Yeah,
That's probably her best one. I asked them during the panel. I was like, well, "What do you think? Y'all think?" Because we were talking about just like the style of the day, and certain things that certain looks they had. And I asked them both. I was like, "What do y'all think was the coolest movie poster that either of you were on?"
yeah.
Pam Grier was like, "Oh, coffee. I think it was that one." And Hammer said, "All my posters look cool." He's like, "I usually have my shirt off and I'm holding the gun or something like that or whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. That's How do you pick a favorite?"
There was a question that I wanted to ask Pam Grier, but I didn't have the guts to do it because I just imagined that asking her would like bring up some feelings. But like her and Richard Pryor saw each other for a bit in the '70s, and I saw a little mention in her Wikipedia page that apparently she helped teach Richard Pryor how to read. Now, I don't
Whoa.
know if he was only like semi-illiterate or was just having issues, but she helped that man learn how to read, according to Wikipedia.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is
Heavy
crazy.
stuff, man. Man, that would be something to talk about. Maybe next time. Maybe there will
Yeah,
be a next time and then we'll get the chance. Who
I
knows?
certainly hope so.
Now, we also had the Walking Dead panel,
Yeah.
of course. Um, we had
How many times did you hear the word coral this weekend?
so that came up in the panel, and I asked Chandler Riggs, "How often does someone yell coral at you?" And he said every day, every day. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew the answer, but I needed it to be clarified for me.
The
Um,
um the funny thing is, like, I think like the undertone of people bringing that up so much is kind of like, oh, hey, this British guy didn't do that good of a job at a southern accent. I think he did a bang up job, and
right.
let me tell you, I probably knew at least a dozen jokers that like would pronounce the name Carl Coral
Hmm.
even prior to that.
Yeah, like when you're from Mississippi, right? You're gonna have
Oh,
a
dude,
few.
people just say shit completely wrong here at all times.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, man, there's think about going to New Orleans, right? They have got their own language in New Orleans, so.
Yeah, home is home is where you make it, man.
There's that was a JoJo reference, but there's a street in New Orleans called you look at the sign and you're like, oh, that's Burgundy Street, but it's
Yeah,
not Burgundy, it's Burgundy
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
that's just how they say it. Okay.
yeah,
But yeah, no, we had Christian Serratos up there as well. We had Jason Douglas who played Tobin. We had Michael Cudlitz who was Abraham up there.
yeah.
So we had a 4-person panel. It was a big panel. We got to talk about character deaths and everything. Um, and that was a really good time. It was it's just crazy. Like that show ended in 2021, I think.
Something like that,
And
yeah.
I mean, there's still some spin-offs going, but like people are just still really, really passionate about The Walking Dead.
And I dig
Um,
that.
and
Yeah. I
it was
think
cool.
I think we've talked about it before. I stopped like in the fourth or fifth season,
Hmm.
but I'm glad that people stuck with it and they dug it. That that they liked what they watched.
Yeah, yeah. It was cool too because we got into a little bit about just kind of like who really was the villain of the show. Because I mean, you had characters that were like as villains, but also like the main characters, the main group, they all kind of acted as villains at different times too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we got to talk a little bit about that too, and I mean, they really did agree as well. So that was a really cool, like, just fun conversation to have around the whole thing.
I mean,
Um,
whenever you got Zambinos walking around, you can't be a good guy all the time.
no, of course not. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
There needs to be a piece of zombie media, not even anything that's like outright comedic, but like, I think uh, it's kind of an unspoken rule that if you have a zombie show, you can't refer to them as zombies for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
they're
You know,
like
like
those
Shaun of the Dead
things.
kind of like poke fun of that, and like I think he almost says zombie. He's like, no, no, shh, don't say that. The Z word, don't say that. Um, but like they all come up with at least somewhat respectable names for them.
Sure.
There needs to be like a really bad one, like Zambino or something
The
like that.
Zambinos. There's yeah. What's one of the things I did like about a little detail about the franchise Walking Dead is that every time they encounter a different group of people from a different place, they have a different name that they
Yeah,
use as well.
yeah,
Um. All right. So we also I'll say this: we finished up with Spencer Wilding,
yeah.
who was huge, massive, huge man. I ran into him in the little coffee bar at the hotel before
Yeah.
the show on Saturday.
Oh
And I was
no.
like, oh no, we lost Brandon.
Oh, that's not good.
I'll cut to me for a second while you get that finished up. I'll tell my story here. But he's a was a kickboxer and a boxer, martial artist. And I'm sitting there looking at him and I'm like, man, he looks like a kickboxer. Like he's built like he's 6'6". I'm looking at it right now.
My God, he's an inch taller than I am.
Yeah, I mean, huge guy. And I mean, I guess you got to be that big whenever you play Darth Vader, right?
You talking about Dark Vader?
Dark Vader. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we it was cool. I got to meet him. He was a super nice guy, super awesome guy. Brandon's back with us now, so we can go
Here
ahead and
I
get
am.
back to the full screen here. But yeah, we just had a whole just awesome conversation during his panel. And we got to talk about a little bit of everything about his martial arts background and how he did martial arts just to get into movies.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, I did that because I wanted to get in the movie. Because he had like a lot of family, he had a lot of relatives that were entertainers in various different capacities and martial
Yeah.
artists. And so he was like, well, this is a path for me to get into movies. So that's what I'm going to do.
Oh
And
man.
he said 19 professional fights in all, 18 wins, 14 knockouts, I think.
Do you want me to tell you like a bad version of that?
Okay.
I will never forget this for as long as I live, and you'll understand here in a second. You've heard a little bit of Matchbox 20, right?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Not the most gripping, seedy, dangerous bad boy music, would you agree?
I would agree.
Rob Thomas in an interview, and you would think that he gave this interview at the age of 11 with what I'm about to tell you,
Okay.
but no, he was a fully grown adult. He was like, yeah, man, I intentionally got into bad relationships so I could have lyrical content bubbling in the brain.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Either he is telling the truth
Yeah.
and is a sociopath,
Yeah.
or he is a liar and a loser. Oh my God. I heard that and I could not stop.
When did he
laughing.
do that interview?
I don't know, but I bet he had the earrings in.
Okay. So you're saying it was from that era.
Oh yeah, it was like during the late 90s.
I've heard him talking about like the song 3 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
And saying how he's like, when I listen back to that song, like, I just hate the way I sound because, like, I was a child when I recorded that song, basically. And to me, like, I sound like a child in that song. He's like, it's like the adjective he used was slurpy sounding. And I was like, yeah, I guess it kind of is. So, even at that point in time, he probably looks back and was like, yeah, I was a kid whenever I made that. And it's true. I mean, we think about it, and I think we've talked about it here on the show. A lot of your favorite songs by your favorite artists were written whenever they still literally were kids.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's wild to think about. But I think it was Elvis Costello that said that you have your entire life to write your first album and then 2 years to write your second. Yeah,
which is that's I guess one of the reasons why the term sophomore slump is a term.
It's true. It's true. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Who else do we do? I think I'm missing something here. Oh yeah, no, Spencer. Anyway, yeah, but it was cool to talk about Darth Vader. Like we talked a little bit about everything. We talked about Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. He was Kilowog in the Green Lantern movie. It wasn't a great movie, but you could tell he really liked that character a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of mocap things. He's like, yeah, and I still have to like get on stilts a lot of times to play like some of these characters that have me play. But yeah,
gotta be 7'5".
We got around to Star Wars. I was like, all right, now tell me everything about Darth Vader right now.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So I'm really, really pumped about putting that out there so people can hear about, him playing Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Especially because he said when he went into the audition process, he did not know it was Darth Vader.
Oh, like, who did he think that he was auditioning
Well,
for?
no, it was just like, we got something in for you. They can't tell us what it is. And so they just need someone who can walk around with some authority. He was like, okay, cool. So he like did that. And then like, they're like, okay, so we can tell you it's Star Wars. He's like, cool. And so they send him some lines and he's telling his agent, like, I think this is Darth Vader. His agent was like, it's not Darth Vader. He was like, I think it is though. So that was really awesome. Just like having that bit of conversation. And here's the thing. He was in the Toxic Avenger, the new one.
No kidding. Was he Toxie?
He was not. No. Toxie was Peter Dinklage.
You're talking about he was in the new
one. The new one. That just came out last year. That has not had a wide release yet. That's only been in film festivals. And I said, Spen, what can you tell me about the Toxic Avenger? Tell me right now.
Yeah.
I was like, tell me about anything. And he said, here's the thing. There's NDAs. I can't come out and tell you anything about the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that you're going to love it.
Okay.
So,
okay. You know what? Okay. I believe him.
So he couldn't tell us anything about where they're at with any kind of distribution or anything.
Yeah.
But he did say, he's like, you're going to love this movie. So I was like, okay. I was like, your vote of confidence sitting here right now is enough for me. So I am looking forward to maybe one day watching that movie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, honestly, truly.
Yeah. It was a rad weekend. Like I said, man, we did a little picking up. I got in at 3 a.m. and passed out. And now we're looking ahead to the Preserve Halloween Fest because we got an awesome group of people coming to the Preserve Halloween Fest. We're going to Savannah, Georgia.
That's going to be a good time.
I'm excited. I've never been to Savannah, Georgia before. Savannah, we're on our way. I'm telling you what, it's such a fun show every single year. Everybody who shows up is so happy to be there.
Oh, yeah.
So passionate, man. We got Doug Jones is going to be there. AJ Bowen, I've never worked with him before, but that'll be fun. Alex Armbruster as well, who was the killer in Thanksgiving, the one that came out last year.
Very cool, yeah.
And then it'll be cool to see Caroline Williams and Bob Elmore from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 again.
It's going to be such a good time.
Their panel was a lot of fun, man. They love talking about that movie.
Yeah.
And the people that show up to those panels really love talking that movie. Chris Alexander, editor of Fangoria for a while, also made some movies there too. And Jason Baker, who I got to talk to him a little bit over the weekend, but not a lot in Alabama.
How was he?
Who made? He seemed cool. He seemed cool. It wasn't a lot, but did seem really cool. Worked on a lot of wrestling masks and movie masks and things like that. And also Brandon, Count Gordeval, showing up.
Oh my gosh!
Once again, he will be back.
You can always count on him.
You can always count on the Count, telling his vampire dad jokes. I'm excited, man. And Halloween is actually already here for real, or getting close for real.
You gonna be anything for Halloween?
It's gonna be, yeah, I think we're gonna do an Addams Family thing this year.
Oh, heck yeah!
But the thing is, I can't shave my beard, so I'm gonna have to be a bearded Gomez because we have a show like a few weeks after that.
Right.
Going back in time for that. So, yeah, I just, here's the thing. I'm willing to maybe one day get on stage beardless.
Yeah.
But I'm going to need to shave it and like see it first with enough time for it to grow back if I need to reverse course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I need 2 months minimum for it to be like where I want it to be.
See, I think I've talked about this before, but I'm just the opposite. If I let my facial hair grow out, I think like the longest I've ever done it is like a month, and like in the end, it just looked like I was a 14-year-old about to sell you some fake weed.
Man, I'm telling you, look, and in the past, like I used to shave it off every now and then just to change it up. I haven't since before my daughter was born, and she's 7. But and it was like every time I would shave it off and I would look in the mirror and I'd go, shit, should not have done that.
Made a mistake.
The last time I shaved it off was for a show. A couple friends of mine that used to work with and manage them as a DJ duo. And they would wear like luchador masks and tights and stuff. And it was like a theme thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And we had a Halloween show, and I was, do you know who Paul Bearer is from wrestling? He was the Undertaker's manager for a while.
No. I thought you were talking about the
guy had like squatty guy,
Bearer.
had a mustache and a suit, and anyway, I was him. So I shaved off the beard and kept the mustache.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I did that. That might have been, 2016, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe 2015, something like that.
So it's hard to deviate from the formula.
Yeah. I, one day I'll try it out. Maybe I'll do it for like New Year's this year because we're going to be off from end of November to mid-March, I think. So
Yeah.
before Louisiana Comic-Con. So maybe I will. Actually, you know what, Humble Fam? I want you to tell me, should I try it?
Should he give it a try?
Should I give it a try? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm turning it over, but, I'm putting it up to public opinion right now. Y'all let me know, Humble Fam, what we are going to do. But I can tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be back here next week for another visit here on The Humble Show. So make sure you are subscribed, and you give us a like and a comment, and you follow all of our socials here. We'll see y'all back here next week, everybody. But you know what? Until then, stay humble.